Right guys, welcome back into Wheel Life. Now this is a bit of an impromptu video because I noticed that I haven't actually made a video in a week or so, even though I promised a weekly video. Now the reason is you can probably hear that I've been a little bit under the weather. I'm still a little bit sick, so I had the flu, which was not fun, and it put a bit of a hold on some of my plans cycling wise. But to try and rectify that, I'm going to film a video today to update you on a few things whilst we go through a Zwift community race. So I saw one of my mates was signed up for this one, so I've, without telling him, signed into his race. So I don't know if I'm going to be in the same category as him, but we'll see. If we are, it'll be quite fun to see if we can beat him. And so I've got my gel and I've got my little update to show you. So let's get warmed up. We've got only a few minutes till the race starts. It starts in 4 minutes. It's a short one, only 20 minutes, but very hilly. So not my kind of race at all, but it'll be fun just to give us a go, see how we get on. So in terms of updates, yeah, I got sick towards the end of Scotland, where I did my last video. And unfortunately, I haven't really recovered since. I sort of felt a bit better and then got worse again. But feeling much better now, which is good. Sort of coming out the other side of it. And yeah, so updates. I have the next part of us being able to do proper on-bike footage. So it was very cool in Scotland to be able to have my wife and her sister driving along behind me with a gimbal, but it's not very sustainable. You know, they can't do that with every race we do. So I did a bit of research, stalked a few YouTubers and worked out the best way for me to film looks like it's going to be one of these. Drop the label. But yeah, so it's going to look a little weird, I guess. It's a mouth mount. So you attach your GoPro into this, and basically you can then do on-bike footage really easily. You can use it as a little handle as well to do sort of selfie kind of footage while you're riding along. So we're going to use this. It's really, really cheap upgrade if you're ever thinking about doing a cycling YouTube channel. It was only 30, 40 quid or something. Probably expensive for what it actually is, but you know, it's a specialized product. And yeah, so it's going to mean we can do proper on-bike footage. I'm hoping to get a ride in on Saturday, so it's Thursday now. If I get a ride on Saturday, we'll edit that out and put that out Sunday. I'm going to put this video pretty much straight out after the race. Got the race recording here, so I'll be able to give you a little update at the end, see how we get on. And then the other thing is I've switched to SIS gels, basically. I've been using the Morton gels for a long time, but they've been giving me some tummy trouble when I've been on the bike. So I've switched to SIS ones. Try and sort of train my gut on them a little bit while I'm on the turbo trainer, where you can be near a toilet, obviously, if you do have any trouble. They're not exactly delicious. So this is a tropical one, it's all right. I've got the variety pack at the moment. If you guys have got a favourite flavour, please feel free to drop them in below. Yeah, tropical's not my thing. I think the best one I've had so far is definitely the pink grapefruit. So plan for today is also to talk you through one of my first ever gear reviews. Now the things I'm going to look at today are the Wahoo pieces of tech, basically. So we're going to talk through that tech family whilst we do the race. We're not going to push too hard because I'm feeling a little unwell still, so we're just going to take it nice and easy, use it as an opportunity to train and talk about the Wahoo gear review. So my first impressions of the Wahoo Bolt were super, super positive. Loved it. So the Bolt was my first ever head unit. Never had one. Don't have one to compare it to. But the things I noticed were that the directions are really, really useful when you're riding. I was a serial get lost, try and find your way again, make your own route up in the end, and never be able to compare your rides because you've gone 3 or 4 different directions. But the Wahoo makes it much easier. I love the light indicators on the directions, telling you if you've gone wrong. And then I really enjoy also the ways you can customize the home screen. You know, I don't have a power meter yet, so I like to work off of heart rate, and I work off of gradient as well because I'm adverse to climbing. So when the gradient kicks, I try to manage my output a lot more. Right, we're coming to the beginning of this race, 10 seconds. We'll go through the cons of the Element Bolt quickly. Just up the power for the start. I always get dropped off the start, which is annoying. So try not to do that now. Put out a little 500 watt burst. Get up to speed quick. There you go, it worked well. Something I found, I seem to get dropped off of the first start, but not because of a lack of power. You know, I'm putting out 350 watts and getting dropped, but it's because of the acceleration with the lighter guys. So let's just get ourselves in the pack and then we can talk through pros and cons a little bit more. There you go, we've got ourselves in the pack so we can relax a little bit. Don't want to get dropped at the beginning, that'd be really annoying. But the cons of the Bolt. So love the directions, love the simplicity of it, and love the ability to customize what you see. But in terms of cons, I have found that when you're in direct sunlight, the screen's not the brightest. You know, it'd be great if it was like an LED screen. And I know you have to just spend a little bit more if you want that. You can go for a Garmin one or one of the better Wahoos. But if we could have a bit of a better screen, that would have been my preference. Hit our first hill of this race. It's going to be a hilly one. Little 3%er. Try to keep the power around about 300 watts. Don't overdo it. Just stay in the back. Normally in these races, if I can get myself in a field sprint, I'm pretty good. But this one's probably going to be a breakaway one, I reckon. Right, nice little downhill to talk about the next con. And the next con is sometimes the directions, especially if you're putting a big effort out. You know, if you're doing a little time trial or something and you don't see the direction, it's sometimes a little bit late to remind you, so you end up going the wrong way, seeing the red light, and then struggling to find your way back. So it does change the map and show you where you need to go, but it will very occasionally just, you know, it just shows red, and then the next direction that gets you back on course is too late, and you've missed it. So that's not ideal, but still not bad. I actually know this course now. I've raced this before. This is a long old hill that we're on here that it's good to just sort of power up rather than trying to conserve it. Just power through it, get yourself over the peak, and then just coast downhill a little bit. Because I'm so much heavier, the downhill I tend to just roll past people. So let's try and keep this effort up here. That's a lot of watts. Okay, back on the back of the group. Bit of a longer effort than I anticipated there to get back on, but it's okay. I do think I can maybe go for an effort off the front here if I wanted, but I'm going to just take it chill. Just roll away from people. I think I'm the faster guys. Let's get on the back there. Now my next piece of kit to review is the cadence and speed monitors. Now to be honest, I've had no issues with these at all. They've been great. It's nice to know exactly what you're doing during a ride. And basically they do exactly what they say on the tin. They tell you your cadence and they tell you your speed. Now, I've heard reports that the batteries don't last that long, but I haven't run into this yet. Whew. More hills. Just try to cling on to these guys up the hills. So we're in what used to be the C category at the moment. Obviously I'm no pro racer, you're not tuning in here to watch some elite racing. But I do enjoy the racing side of things, it's something I want to get better at. I'm probably a little bit too competitive for my own good, so I do push myself very hard in these. But like I said, we're just going to try and take it a little bit easier today. He says he's putting out 700 watts. Right, power through that one. So yeah, I haven't really used the cadence and speed monitors long enough, I don't think, to get an accurate idea about if the batteries are an issue. But that brings me on to my next piece of kit to talk about, which is the ticker. So I'm using it now. The ticker is a heart rate monitor, works on a chest strap, and to be honest, it's the one I've had the most issues with. I want me to get back on that group. Now the ticker is a heart rate strap that you wear around your chest, and it's the one I've had the most issues with. Now, the first issue I had is I am dropping some weight quite quickly at the moment, just naturally from the increased training volume. And the problem I'm having is literally between workouts, the strap is becoming too loose. It's a good thing to it's a good problem to have, but it's frustrating, especially when you're running, having to hold it up, looking like you got a crop top. I'm going to push up this hill to get back on that group. We have been dropped a little bit here, so we're going to have to put in an effort. I'll talk to you about the ticker when I get back on that group. This is a nightmare. The guy I was chasing has been dropped too. So I'm flying past him now, but I've got to catch the next group. Anyway, the issue I had with the ticker is basically it runs off the same battery as a scale or a watch. And I found very quickly that battery ran out. So I had a ride in Loch Ness where I was supposed to be doing threshold efforts, heart rate based. And unfortunately the ticker died midway through. So I wasn't able to complete my session properly. I gave it a good go, but definitely not to the same level I would have. So it's something to note. You do have to check the battery. And the problem I have is without going into the Wahoo app, I don't think you can see that battery anywhere. I might be wrong, and if I am, let me know. The only thing that's wrong right now is the amount of effort I'm putting in. 314 watt average, a bit much. So yeah, the ticker band, the problem I have is the battery did run out. So I have another way to check that battery, that'd be cool. And then the pros though, when it's working, it definitely increases your ability to track heart rate, understand the amount of effort you're putting in during an effort, and also on longer rides, if you've got a big climb and you find it, you see it on the bolt, that will show you your climbs, and you're able to manage that effort, I can guarantee you'll be faster overall. Might not feel it, like on the climb, you may want to push harder, but keeping that heart rate, for me at least, around 155 on a climb, means at the top, I get there and I'm good to go, rather than having to recover and then give an effort. So especially going into the Ironman season next year, when the ride is 90 kilometers, I need to make sure I'm not having to put in big efforts, especially up climbs. Now luckily, from what I understand, Valencia is pretty flat. So it's a long, solid climb for a while, which is why I'm doing efforts like this where it's rolling and then solid uphill, because it should get used to it. Now we're halfway through, got 10k left. Well, I am feeling it. The average watts is currently above FTP. So we will certainly see if I maybe improve my FTP by mistake, because I do not want to lose. This group is going to be my group. And I can see some guys dropping off the back of the group in front, which means we'll catch them and swallow them up as well. So what is nice about this is I'm killing two birds with one stone. I have a very busy work life, and I've been struggling to find time for training and filming. So this is good. This is supposed to be what my coach is dubbing a threshold effort, which is supposed to be about 40 minutes long and of a steady, consistent difficulty effectiveness, not too many ramps. So this is ideal, a long effort. That's sort of pretty much my max output. He asked for 90%, I'm probably over that. But loving the programming by Phil Mosley. I've got no affiliation with him, I literally joined it because a friend of mine suggested it. And I found the structure to be really useful. So I would normally have programmed myself, similar amount of hours, like 10 hours a week to to 16 hours a week really. And I found actually there's a slight drop in volume on the Mosley program compared to my normal programming, but the intensity is definitely there. So probably works better for my work life. Stay chill. Keep that effort 315-ish. We've just been dusted by somebody. I'm not going after him. Trying to get my heart rate down. Up that climb, we were looking at 175. Just trying to take a bit of a cooler here on the downhill. Stay in the group. Let it drop back into the 160s if I can. Oh, what the hell? Oh no. This is cruel to put at the end of a race. Finish hard, come on. Ah, that is just cruel. That was just horrible. Hey, no FTP. Whoa. I'll see you Sunday for the proper video, but real life is going nowhere. Thank you very much for watching. Oh. Right guys, Alex from the very near future. I've finished being dramatic on the front step. Yeah, so that was our first gear review / Zwift race. I put the video together at very last minute just because I feel I need to uphold my end of the bargain. If you're going to watch, I need to put the stuff there for you to watch. I don't think I'm going to do it with a race again. I think I might do gear reviews maybe with a recovery ride or a hill climb rather than a what turned out to be a pretty much flat out effort race. So maybe a learning opportunity there. But to wrap up the video with a little bit more oxygen going to my brain. So the Wahoo ticker is the one I've had the most issues with, in the sense that the battery has run out on me pretty quickly. I've replaced that now and it works fine, but it would be nice to be able to see like a percentage drop or something when you turn it on. And then, but the good things about the ticker in particular are the amount of info it gives you about your efforts. Helps you to gauge those efforts, and especially on longer rides, I find it's very important when I'm climbing to sort of gauge my effort level. Now, the Wahoo speed and cadence I've had no issues with them at all. They do exactly what they say on the tin. They're very minimalist on your bike. You can't really tell they're there unless you want to tell them they're there, and then they look cool because they're flashing and the Wahoo logo and stuff. It looks really cool. And then finally the bolt, the element bolt. Now the only shush Maverick, my dog's here as well. The only issue I've had with the bolt really is to do with the screen and the direction. So the screen could be brighter, but that comes with the amount you spend. So if you go for a more expensive Wahoo or Garmin, sort of the top end Garmin ones as well, you're going to get an LED screen. It's going to be much brighter, much easier to read in direct sunlight. Now the directions, I sometimes find if you're putting an effort in, it would be nice to have some other kind of input to try and indicate that you're going right or left. Maybe using the beep function, like 2 beeps is right, 1 beep is left, or something along those lines. Simply because sometimes you fly through the corner, don't see the direction, and you go wrong. And then by the time it's giving you the direction to get right again, you've gone past that as well, and you get stuck in a cycle. And I find that quite a lot when I do time trial rides. So maybe a little bit of a development there for Wahoo. Again, it may be a case of just buying a more expensive unit gets you a better service, and this is as good as I could afford at the time. Overall, though, the Bolt has been my favourite purchase by a long way, especially with KOM tracking, effort tracking against your own personal record. I love that. So there's a lot of sort of pretty long sectors by me, or segments by me, where you can see you're 1 second ahead, 1 second behind. You really put in that effort, and it gets you to give that extra little bit. And then I love the gradient tracking. If I'm finding it difficult up a climb, I'm quite quick to go to my head to go, I must be feeling bad. But if I can look down and I see I'm climbing a 12% climb, then I'm supposed to feel bad. So it's the Bolt has been fantastic. The battery life is amazing. I didn't mention that when I was on the bike, but the battery life is amazing. Last one I didn't review while I was on the bike, but I will review now. The Wahoo Kicker, unreal, love it in every way. Literally no fault points except for the fact that I've got the Gen 1. Like I said in my original Zwift video, it was a gift from a friend and a client. And the Gen 1, one of the things they've improved is the noise level. It is quite loud. So if you're doing a chill ride and you want to have something on TV, headphones are best to have them in, because it is quite loud. It's a bit whiny. So other than that, it's awesome. No fault points there. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any other videos you want me to post, then please comment them below. And just to remind you as well, Saturday, we're doing our first on-bike video. I'll edit it as quick as I can. Hope to get it up on Sunday. But we've got the mouth mount, got the GoPro, all that sort of stuff is sorted. So we're ready to go. I'll be going to pick up the GoPro tomorrow from my office. And then we'll be on the bike on Saturday. So we'll see you very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome back to Real Life.